Walt Disney World Resort near Orlando, Florida. With their 4 theme parks and uniquely themed resort hotels, Disney's the place where magical gatherings happen for families every day. And while you would think this might be a lodge in Yellowstone, it's actually Disney's Wilderness Lodge, complete with a geyser that erupts on the hour. It's from docks here that the real guys will venture out, not to the popular parks, but into the lakes to enjoy the angling expeditions available on this 40,000-acre property. Ken Ford and Tommy Nelms are joined by their host, Kim Murphy, a senior vice president of the Disney Company. As a member of the National Wildlife Refuge Centennial Commission, Murphy has worked with the real guys this season in making sure they visit some of America's refuge systems. This week, though, he's invited Ken and Tommy to Disney to see how private enterprise can also contribute to land and wildlife conservation.
Kim, how big is Disney World, the whole enchilada? How big is the whole thing?
Well, it's nearly 40,000 acres.
40,000 acres?
Yep.
That's almost as big as a small ranch back in Texas. Now, don't you have some of the property, though, dedicated to no development?
Well, yeah, in fact, right from the beginning, Walt decided to set aside over 8,000 acres that would remain forever wild. I mean, it basically is a conservation easement like a wildlife refuge. When he found this property here in Central Florida, he was taken by the beauty, and he realized that maybe the best show he would ever have is the beauty of this land, the wetlands and the uplands and the lakes, and it's just so extraordinary. It captivated him. So before he completed the land use plans, along with all of his engineers and architects, he brought the most well-known environmentalists of the time to Walt Disney World, and they took canoes and flatboats and they went back into all of these wild areas. And the conclusion of those meetings was that a very significant portion of this property should always remain wild. And they created a conservation easement of over 8,000 acres, and this then approximately 35,000 acres, so a quarter of it was to remain wild. And I don't mean just green, I mean wild. And to this day, a quarter of this property is like it was 1,000 years ago. This morning was fantastic. The weather was perfect. You could smell glazed donut aroma in the air as the fishermen approached the boat. But I think what was so much fun is we used these float tubes, and I've never done anything like that before. I've seen them, and I thought, oh, I don't know about these float tubes. And boy, I got into that float tube in this fantastic warm lake water, and I was so comfortable, and it was so peaceful. I wasn't sure if I even wanted to catch a fish. I was enjoying myself so much. I don't know when I've had quite this much fun. All right. That's a pretty little gal.
Real guys are often open to new ideas, and we decided a new idea at Disney would be the option of using some float tubes, put some shiners on our spinning rods. What a great idea that was.
Oh, hey guys, I got a nibble. I mean, I'm telling you, if you caught a really big bass in this float tube deal, I mean, I'm telling you.
It'll be an experience.
It would put hair on your chest. If you don't have any already.
Well, I could use a little, actually.
Come on in now. Be a little bitty thing, but that's okay. You gotta start somewhere, Kim.
Yes, you do.
Don't get me wet. Don't get me too wet.
Well, that's a pretty little fish.
Isn't that nice dark green?
That is a beauty. Yeah, the color is fantastic.
Yeah, the color's great. Color's great. And the tug's not too bad for a while.
I thought it was going to take you under there for a minute.
When we return,
Are you ready for this?
Disney Senior
Yes, sir.
VP
Okay.
Kim Murphy makes himself noticed by the fish.
Whoa.
And those who awaken at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa find what they think is another attraction, or distraction, as the real guys, Ken Ford and Tommy Nelms, explore the vacation kingdom of the Walt Disney World Resort. As the sun continues to rise over Walt Disney World near Orlando, the wildlife is awakening at Disney's Animal Kingdom, where guests see exotics from the jungles of the world. Wild noises can also be heard in front of the Grand Floridian Hotel this morning, as Ken Ford and Tommy Nells introduce float tube fishing to Disney Senior Vice President Kim Murphy.
All right, I finally hooked somebody.
Way to go, Kenny.
Oh, he's taking my drag.
All right. Look at this.
Hope I don't want to wake anybody up here, but this thing is taking some drag. Oh, man. Woo.
Well, that's a pretty fish.
Open your mouth, open your mouth, open your mouth, open your mouth. Oh, man.
Look at that.
What a blast this morning. We're fishing around a lot of people that are looking out their windows. Kim Murphy and I are fishing with these big shiners, some of them 4 inches long, fishing right by the hotel, almost like putting on a show.
Holy mackerel.
Holy mackerel, Jack.
Well, he's not big, but he is
That's all
funky.
right, though.
Whoa.
Oh, man, holy mackerel, Jack.
Dave.
Kim,
Oh,
how do you do that?
I don't know. It runs in the family.
I never seen anything like it.
Woo-hoo.
Kim, you need to tip your hat to the people up there. You need to tip your hat to them, just like
Ladies and gentlemen.
look at the fact. Tip your hat to them. Tip your hat to them.
All right, there he goes. You have a good trip.
We release everything.
Well, when we were in our float tubes, floating along next to the Grand Floridian Hotel, I mean, that had to be this amazing contrast. A bunch of wild and crazy fishermen out there floating by, and here are these people in these beautiful hotel rooms on their balconies watching us. One of the women looked down and she had her children by her side at the balcony, and they were all leaning over, and she said, "You know, none of us in our family have ever caught a fish, and this is so much fun to watch you." And they were loving it. I mean, we were putting on a great show. Even though we didn't realize it, we were putting on a great show. So I think we're going to have to be careful. We might end up doing this on a regular basis. You know, we'd caught quite a few fish, and it was so much fun playing them on the line, and they were feisty, and you know, you felt all that herky-jerky motion. And then when I caught that big bass, it was just a little different. It was kind of this slow tug, and then boom, and it wasn't herky-jerky at all. It was just power. And that really was exciting, because that was a totally different feel. And I was just saying, please, don't shake that hook. I want to see what this is down there. Oh, man. Holy mackerel.
As they say in South Louisiana, that's a chunk, bud.
That was really a high point of my day, maybe my week, possibly my year. I'm going to check my calendar. It might have been a high point of my year.
Boy, I tell you what, this thing looks like he's a lot bigger than he really is. Come on up here. Come on up here. Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Come on in. Ultralight. Ultra, ultra light. Da-da, 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 da-da.
When the Real Guys, Ken Ford and Tommy Nels, return to Walt Disney World, they're joined by a young 11-year-old who enjoys fishing as much as they do, as long as she gets to Main Street later. This season on The Real Guys, Ken Ford and Tommy Nels will be fishing in several national wildlife refuges as the system celebrates its 100 years of existence. This week, though, Senior Vice President of Disney, Kim Murphy, who's on the Refuge Centennial Commission, has invited The Real Guys to enjoy angling on some of Walt Disney World's 40,000-acre property. Also along for the adventure is Chairman of the Centennial Commission, Bill Horn, who's brought along a fishing buddy, his 11-year-old daughter, Victoria, for a fishing expedition.
All right, good morning, everybody. This is what I like to call Polly Point. It's one of my favorite shiner holes. We're fishing with shiners this morning, and what we're fishing here is a ledge. It runs around this point. We're talking about 22-foot drop-off right off of it, and I think the fish like to hang on that ledge. Fishing at Walt Disney World is definitely one of Disney's best-kept secrets. Well, it's mostly largemouth bass. Live bait is available if you're wanting to fish with live bait for those less experienced folks. Artificial, a lot of people come out and they like to throw worms and crankbaits and different topwater lures and such like that. And it's, I mean, we can't guarantee fish, but it is surely, I guarantee, a good time.
Victoria, my good friend, have you caught a bass before?
Nope, first time.
First time, have you been bass fishing
Nope.
before? Look at this, oh my gosh, look at Captain Bill.
It must run in the family.
It's something.
You know, there's one on every boat.
There's one on every boat.
There's one on every boat.
Well, I haven't done an awful lot of bass fishing, good or bad. Fortunately, I get to go to some interesting places, but it was kind of fun to go out there this morning with my daughter and spear on an old shiner and pitch it over the side. And before too long, line tightened up, and here come this old green thing up, shaking its head, and everybody's whooping and hollering. And after all the heavy-duty technical fly fishing we all seem to get into, it's fun to kind of get back to our angling roots, if you will, and it made for an enjoyable morning.
It's a monster, Billy Bob.
A monster, a monster.
A monster. You're set. You're back on.
Yeah, look at that. Check it out.
There we go. That's good, baby. Just lift your tip.
Oh,
There we go.
All right. Kiddo, good
Victoria,
shot.
do you mind if I take a picture of you with that bass?
Nope,
Now, is that the second one you've ever caught in your life?
probably.
Missy's gonna get it for you. I'll get you set up. I'm gonna get on this
I'm
side.
gonna hang that hook out there. There you go, baby.
Get on this side, back up towards your dad.
Good job.
That way the sun
Nice
will
little
be behind
fish.
you. Get back by your dad. And I get a great shot of you. Oh, listen, if y'all don't like this, you ready? 1, 2, 3.
My dad took me fishing when I was about 5 or 6 years old, so that's been fishing for a pretty long time. I've never caught a largemouth bass before, so this would be my first time, but there's a first time for everything.
I think it's a bonito.
It's your fight, Michael.
There you go. Show off.
Nice fish. Okay.
Nice.
Good work.
Wow.
Hey, that's a good
Well,
one.
that is a beauty. That's twice the weight of that last one.
Victoria, I need another photo of you.
Well, a trip like this is just, perfect for her, because here you've got, yesterday morning we were first in line to ride Space Mountain, and this morning we were first in line to catch a real nice largemouth bass. You take kids out when they're little. What I discovered is, one, you always make the fishing trip for the kid, not for you. And number two, you got to make sure you've got guaranteed success. And 3, you put it someplace where there's something else going on. There's critters to see, there's tadpoles to catch, there's mud to slop around in. So you kind of make it a fun expedition, and after they've caught 2 or 3 fish in 30 minutes, most little kids are ready to quit, and you got to quit with them. And you do that over and over again, and most of the kids, then the bug kind of gets them, and then they're willing to go with you when you're older, and they're willing to go after the bigger, better stuff.
When you go to the supermarket, do you go and do you buy meat or do you buy bones?
Coming up, after a cool down at Disney's Wilderness Lodge, Ken Ford and Tommy Nelms decide to fish Huck Finn style. Cane poles and live bait, as the real guys remind us, sometimes it's nice just to keep it simple. The real guys, Ken Ford and Tommy Nelms, have traveled to Orlando, Florida this week to fish some of the lakes at Walt Disney World. Disney's fishing expeditions take their guests to various parts of the 40,000-acre property to catch a variety of species, primarily largemouth bass. After cooling off in the pool at Disney's Wilderness Lodge, Ken and Tommy have decided to try cane pole fishing as they're joined by their friend Bill Horn, who's taking a break on this day from his job as chairman of the National Wildlife Refuge Centennial Commission.
We are the three amigos at Disney World.
My name is Hoot.
My name is Flakes.
My name is Bill.
Adios.
You thought of that all by yourself, didn't you?
That was it. I got you. Oh, God. That is a good right there. Check that out. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out.
You give me
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Son.
yeah, you give me a bunch of cheese.
Wait, get out of the way. Get out of the way. Come this way.
We've been talking about how this was a non-technical fishing trip and we were sort of getting back to our roots, and had been over there at the Magic Kingdom visiting Tom Sawyer Land and talking about Huck Finn, and one thing led to another, and the thought was, geez, when's the last time any of us fished with a bobber and a cane pole? And we caught a bunch of fish. It was a wonderful time.
Oh, man, that's beautiful.
Oh, that's a pretty good one.
It's not too bad.
That's not bad at all.
Real good.
Let me get a shot of you after you let the fellas over there check it out.
Cane pole.
Cane pole.
Sorry.
That's right.
Huck Finn's got nothing on us,
He got
guys.
nothing on us.
Huck Finn's got nothing on us.
Oh, man.
This fishing brings me back to the first time my mother took me to the Herman Park Zoo in Houston, Texas, and that was to fish on a little lake. And we fished with rolled up pieces of bread and cheese on a little bitty hook with a bobber for small perch. This is a very strange technique here. Cane pole. Rather than the reel guys, it's the cane pole guy.
We have a combined 750 acres of water on this one particular system. Seven Seas Lagoon is a man-made lake, and Bay Lake is natural. They have a full array of fish, bluegill, bass, crappie, catfish.
That's great. My rod broke in half. I still got him. This is the one half of my rod. This is the other. He's taking me out. This is a good fish, I think. I don't know. He acts pretty good. I raised up the rod and I heard a little pop. My head kind of went back like that. I heard a pop and I looked down and I had half the rod in my hand, and the half that had the fish on it was in the water going the other way. So I reached over there real quick and I had just the tip of the rod left. And it was probably one of the better bass I hooked for the day. And it was a lot of fun, a good memory. Camera real with me, which I don't. Come smile at me. Come smile at me. Oh, I got him. Look at that rascal. Here, I want to show you this. See where the minnow is? Whoops. Whoops, there goes part of my rod. This is the kind of fun you can have if you want to be like a kid again. Getting a float tube. Oh, I just got him unhooked. Still got my minnow. That's a big rascal. Look at his mouth. Oh, I'm gonna see if he'll hold my thumb.
Ken was nice enough. He was catching quite a few fish, and I kind of joined him in the fourth quarter a little bit late. But as usual, my partner was nice enough to let me pull one in on his cane pole, which I very much appreciated. And I pulled in with my left hand, and he helped me a little bit, but it was a good tug.
Come here. Off the light. All right, one arm behind me.
One arm.
Look out, he's coming this way. He's coming this way.
I know it.
He's coming this way.
I know it. He's taking me around. He's taking me around.
Somebody
Stop.
said you look like Schwarzkopf.
Stop. He's my cousin.
All right, I'm gonna help you land him. I'll tell you what, hold
Oh, look,
this.
I don't. Wait, stop. He's coming this way.
No, but hold this right here. Pretty much forgot about everything. Didn't think about the office, which I try not to think about anyway, but I certainly didn't think about the office, and not technical, but a lot of fun.
One arm, baby. One arm. We called that. All right.
Oh, Horn got one.
Oh man, it's just how many stops?
It's wild.
It's wild. I gotta get out there again.
Just a second. Let me go. Just a second. Just a
Okay,
second.
yeah, let me go.
Don't be messing
Little
with me.
guy.
This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.